Hello, everyone. A very good afternoon to all of you, and welcome on the YouTube channel of BYJU'S Exam Prep with the preparation for XAT 2024. Now, today we'll be looking at one of the important topics in quantitative ability, and we'll solve a set based on data interpretation. Right now, these are the sessions that we are conducting for all of you, so that you will have a proper revision for the preparation of XAT 2024. I'm sure that a lot of you are preparing for XAT, and it's already 19th of December, and we have somewhere around 20, like 18 to 19 days left for XAT examination. All right. So let's begin revision of some of the questions which are expected to come in XAT. Now, first of all, we'll start with one set of data interpretation, and then we'll have a look at some of the questions of quant. Like in quant also, we are picking up the topics one by one. So the questions that I've picked up for quant are based on number system, right? So let's begin solving these questions. So the first question will be a set of three questions for data interpretation, the information, the directions for which will be given on two different slides. On the first slide, you will see some text, and on the second slide, there will be a table that will be given to you. Based on the understanding of the data, we'll be answering three questions that will follow this data. So the directions for the first three questions on your screen now. Now read these directions and act accordingly. So the directions are here. Read all the directions. After 2 minutes, I'll take you to the table. Okay, and then we'll have a look at the questions one by one. Now read the instructions carefully and answer the questions that follow. A certain institute conducts an entrance test called Savior Aptitude Test (SAT) to shortlist candidates for interview calls. The SAT comprises three sections: quantitative ability and data interpretation, decision making, and verbal ability and reading comprehension. So these are the three sections: QADI, DM, and VARC. The table that will be shown on the next slide will show the marks scored, maximum marks, the cutoff score of 8 students in the three sections of SAT. The table is incomplete and some of the data was deleted by mistake. The marks scored by each of the students in all the three individual sections are natural numbers. This is an important piece of information. I will highlight this. So the marks scored by the students in all the three sections, individual sections, are natural numbers. And the total marks scored is the sum of the scores in the individual sections. Simple. So it will be a simple sum of the marks, the scores of the three sections that will give you the total marks. The overall cutoff score is defined as the minimum score needed to get an interview call, provided that the sectional cutoffs are also achieved. Okay, all the four cutoffs must be cleared to get an interview call. Okay, so this is a very basic kind of data. You don't have to understand anything, just have to start working on the questions. So I'll quickly show you the table, after which we'll have a look at the questions. So this is the entire table. So there are three sections: QADI, DM, and VARC, the total score. The cutoffs for each of these sections is given, as well as the total cutoff is given. The name of the student is given uh, like this here. These are the name of the students. And here 28, 21, 26 is the maximum marks for each of these sections, 75 being the total. All right, fine. So different cutoffs for the three sections. There is an overall cutoff as well. Now the table has given us the data of these 8 students about their marks in some of the sections, as well as the total marks. Some of the data is missing, and this is how this is the question, and we'll be working on this incomplete set of data. Okay, so right now you cannot do anything because no further information is given. Now it is important to note down that to get an interview call, to get an interview call, basically the overall cutoff should be cleared. Okay, right? So you'll have to clear the overall cutoff as well as the sectional cutoffs. All the four cutoffs must be cleared to get an interview call. All right. So now this is the data, and let's move on to the questions one by one. So question number one on your screen now. The question is, if Teja cleared all the four cutoffs and scored at most 3 marks more than the overall cutoff score, what can be the minimum difference between his scores in QADI and VARC sections? What can be the minimum difference between his scores in these two sections if he cleared all the four cutoffs and scored at most 3 marks more than the overall cutoff score? We'll give you a minute to solve this. You can post your answers in the chat box. All right, let's have a look at this. Now, Teja cleared all the four cutoffs. So the score of Teja in DM is already mentioned in the table. So I can say that if he cleared all the four cutoffs, so he must have cleared the quant cutoff, which is 11. So that means he has scored greater than or equal to 11 in QADI. On the similar lines, he has scored greater than equal to 9 in VARC section. Also, he has scored at most 3 marks more than the overall cutoff. So he has already cleared the overall cutoff, which is 36. So if I look at the total, so the total can maximum be 39. All right, because they are saying that the total score is at most 3 marks more than the overall cutoff. So overall cutoff of 36 he has cleared, and at most 3 marks more than this, that means 36 plus 3, 39. So he can score a minimum of 36 and a maximum of 39 when the total is concerned. All right. Okay. Now the question is, what can be the minimum difference between his scores in QADI and VARC sections? Okay. Now, if I'll consider that his overall score, his total score will be 36. You can consider it as 36, 37, 38, or 39. So I'm considering it as 36, the total score, right? He has already scored 14 in decision making. So 36 minus 14 is equal to 22. Now we have to minimize his difference in the scores of QADI and VARC. Now, can he score equal marks in both these sections? The sum of these two sections is 22. So, can he score 11 and 11 in each of these sections? Let's have a look. In QADI, he has to score a minimum of 11. So, yes, he can score 11. In VRC, he has to score greater than or equal to 9. So, yes, he can score 11 in VRC. So, if I'll keep his scores 11 and 11 in both these sections. Okay, so his sum will be 36. Yes, he can score 36 as the total. And if these two values are equal, then the difference between them will be equal to 0. Now, why I've kept these two values equal? Because I have to minimize the difference between the scores in these two sections. All right. So 11 and 11, the difference is 0. So the minimum difference can be 0. So the correct answer will be option C. All right. Varad, Sakshi, Aniket, is it clear? Yes or no? Answer can also be 0 if you agree with this. All right. So yes, 0 is the correct answer of question number 1. Let's move on and look at the next question, question number 2. Now, question number 2 is, Mehanti gets an overall score of 34 and a score is 1 less than the cutoff score and 1 more than the cutoff scores in the sections where her scores are missing. Okay, so Mehanti gets an overall score of 34. Clear? and a score is one less than the cutoff score and one more than the cutoff score in the sections where her scores are missing, what can be the maximum difference between her scores in any two individual sections where her scores are missing? Now attempt this one. This is similar to the one that we have just finished. Okay. So you'll have to look at all the possibilities that can be there in this question. Do it carefully, explore all the possibilities, and look at your target. You'll have to maximize the difference between her scores in any two individual sections where her scores are missing. Okay, let's have a look at this. The question says that Mahanti gets an overall of 34. Now his score in DM is given as 14. So the sum of the scores in QADI and VARC will be equal to 34 minus 14, that is 20. Okay, so the sum of the scores in the remaining two sections in which her scores are missing, the sum is 20. ठीक है? इतना clear है? Okay. Now further look at this part of the question. Her score is one less than and one more than the cutoff scores in the sections where her scores are missing. So QADI and VARC में in one of the sections her score is one more than the cutoff, and in the other section her score is one less than the one less than the sectional cutoff. Now QADI, the cutoff is 11. So if I'll assume that in QADI her score is one less, that means 10. So in VARC her score should be one more than the cutoff, that means 10 again. Okay, so QADI her score is 11 minus 1, VARC her score is 9 plus 1. This is one of the possibilities. Now if I take the other case, right? In QADI, if her score is one more than the cutoff, so it will be 12, and in VARC it will be 8. So either her scores will be 10 and 10, 10 and 10, that is 20, sum 20 match kar raha hai. Either her scores will be 10 and 10 or her scores will be 12 and 8 respectively, right? Now I have to maximize the difference between these two values. So here, if the scores are 10 and 10, the difference will be 0. If her scores are 12 and 8, the difference will be 4. So which possibility will I consider? I'll consider the possibility where the difference is maximum. Okay, so I will consider that her score in QADI is 12 and VRC is 8. That means the difference is 4, and that can be the maximum difference between her scores in the sections where her scores are missing. All right. So yes, Varad, 4 is the correct answer. Answer is option B. Now the third question of this set. If Layak, uh, the student whose name is at the bottom of the list, if Layak can score at most 50% marks more than the cutoff score in any section, he still scores 5 by 6 of the overall cutoff score. What can be the minimum marks scored by Layak in any of the sections? Yes, any answer? चलिए चेक करते हैं. Okay. Now, life can score at most 50% marks more than the cutoff score in any section. Okay. Now, talking about the first section, the cutoff is 11. So, 50% of 11 is 5.5. So, the maximum that he can score will be 16.5. But it was given in the directions that the scores should be natural numbers. Okay. So, he can have a maximum score of 16. 16.5 से ज़्यादा नहीं हो सकता. It cannot be 17. So I can say that if I'll round it off to the lowest integer, then it will be 16. So maximum that he can score in QADI is 16. But QADI already his score is given. So we should not be bothered about this value. Okay, let's move on to DM. DM the cutoff is 10. So he can score a maximum of 15 marks in DM. He can score anything below this, but he cannot score anything which is above this. So his maximum score in DM can be 15. Similarly, in VARC, 50% of 9 is 4.5. 9 plus 4.5 is 13.5. But since the marks should be natural numbers, so the maximum mark that he can score in VARC is 13. So these three numbers, 16, 15, and 13, are the maximum marks he can score in the respective sections. Okay. Also, he scores 5 by 6 of the overall cutoff score. Overall cutoff score is 36. So 5 by 6 of 36 is equal to 30. So the total marks that he has scored is 30. I have mentioned in the table. All right. Now 7 he has already scored in QADI. So 30 minus 7, that is equal to 23, should be the sum of the remaining two sections. Okay. Right. Now the sum is 23 for the remaining two sections. I'll calculate the minimum marks scored by Layak in any of the sections. Okay. अब दो sections का sum पता है मुझे 23. So to minimize the value in one of the sections, I will maximize his score in the other section. Okay. So if I'll assume that he has scored maximum marks in DM. Okay. So DM में maximum कितना हो सकता है? 15. As per the calculation, DM में maximum 15 हो सकता है. Right? So if DM is 15, then VARC will be 23 minus 15, that is 8. Okay, so he can score a minimum of 8 in VARC. Right? Now, let's look at the other way around. If I'll assume that he has scored maximum in VARC, so maximum of VARC is 13. So in DM section, he will score 23 minus 13, that is 10. Okay, so the minimum he can score in VRC is 8. The minimum he can score in DM is 10. But this is a very important thing. He has already scored a 7 in QADI. So question is, what can be the minimum marks scored by Layak in any of the sections? So I will consider the first section, that is QADI, in which he has scored 7. So the correct answer will be 7, not 8. Okay, so 7, option B is the correct answer, which is correctly given by Aniket and Varad. I was expecting some of you will give option D, that is 8, as the answer, but Aniket, Varad, you did not fell into the trap. So the correct answer here is 7, obviously. All right, great. So that's it about the first set of data interpretation. Now we'll move on and look at some questions from number systems. Okay. So the next question on your screen, what is the remainder when 19 raised to the power 83 plus 24 raised to the power 6 is divided by 17? Quickly, अब ये answers बहुत quickly कर सकते हो. These are very simple questions on number systems. Now, most of the questions that we are doing here have already appeared in actual XAT papers. So these are previous year paper questions of XAT. Let me see who will be the first person to answer this question. Now the first part is 19 raised to the power 83. I divided by 17. So 19 when divided by 17, the remainder is 2. So it will be 2 raised to the power 83 upon 17. Okay. Now, okay, Aniket says that it is B, that is 1. Okay, Aniket will check. So 2 raised to the power 83. Now I'll divide it by 17. Now 2 raised to the power 4 is 16, which is near to 17. So I'll separate out the fourth powers of 2. So for that, I'll write 2 cube multiplied by 2 raised to the power 4 whole raised to the power 20. All right, divided by 17. Now further, 2 cube as it is, 2 raised to the power 4 is 16 raised to the power 20 divided by 17. Now 2 cube is 8. Now 16 when divided by 17, 16 when divided by 17, the remainder will be minus 1. Minus 1 raised to the power 20 will be plus 1. Okay, so 8 multiplied by plus 1 will be equal to 8. So from the first part of this, I'm getting a remainder of plus 8. Okay, now let's simplify the second part. 24 raised to the power 6. Very small power, so it can be easily solved. Divided by 17. So 24 when divided by 17, the remainder is 7. So 7 raised to the power 6 divided by 17. Okay. Now 7 raised to the power 6, I can take 7 square. So 7 square is 49. It can be written as 49 cube divided by 17. Now 49 when divided by 17, look at the top of the screen. Since 51 is completely divisible by 17, I can say 49 when divided by 17 will give me a remainder of minus 2. Okay, so I can write it as minus 2 raised to the power 3. Minus 2 raised to the power 3 is minus 8. So from the first part, the remainder is plus 8. From the second part, the remainder is minus 8. If I'll add both of them, I will get a 0. So option A, that is 0, will be the correct answer of this question. ठीक है? Simple था. If you have done a little practice of remainder theorems, then you'll be easily able to do this question. So answer is option A, 0. Let's move on and look at the next question from remainders. Find the remainder when 757575 is written one after the other to make a 60-digit number. When this number is divided by 99, what will be the remainder? Now there are various different methods that can be used to solve these questions. Okay, so you may have a different method, that is absolutely fine, but the answer should be correct. Okay, चलिए solve करते हैं. I want to divide this number by 99. ठीक है? So 99 can be written as 9 into 11. So I will divide this number first of all by 9 and then by 11. First of all, I'll calculate the remainders individually. So number 757575, 60 digits. So let's say n is the number 757575 and so on, a 60-digit number. I want to divide it by 9 and find out the remainder. So let's calculate the sum of the digits. Now sum of the digits, 7 plus 5 is 12. multiplied by, now 7575, it's a 60 digit number. So how many pairs of 75 will be there? There will be 30 pairs. So 12 into 30, that is 360 is the sum of the digits. Now 360 is completely divisible by 9. Yes. So I can say that number will be completely divisible by 9. So that means it will leave a remainder of 0 when divided by 9. Okay. Now secondly, the number when divided by 11, what will be the remainder? Okay. So number को मैं लिख देता हूँ 75775 and so on 7575, a 60 digit number. Okay. Now rule of 11 is starting from right hand side, we'll put plus sign, then minus, plus, minus, and so on, and we'll simplify. Okay. So the result will come out to be 5 minus 7. This will become minus 2. This will also become minus 2, and minus 2 will be written 30 times. So this result will be minus 60. Now minus 60 when divided by 11, the remainder will be minus 5. Minus 5 में 11 add कर देंगे, so it will become 6. Alright. So I can now say that number when divided by 11, the remainder will be 6. Alright, done. Now what will I do is, I will now use the LCM model to make the remainder common. So I'll keep on adding 9 to this number and 11 to this number. So 0 plus 9 is 9, then 18, 27, and so on. So I will be getting multiples of 9 here. Again, I'll keep on successively adding 11 to 6 and will stop whenever any of these number is achieved. Now these numbers are multiples of 9. So 6 plus 11, that is 17. I'll stop when this value will become a multiple of 9. 17 plus 11 is 28, then 39, 50, 61, 72. 72 is a multiple of 9, which will also be common up there. So number when divided by 99, the common remainder here will be 72. So 72 will be the final answer of this question. Okay, Gunja? So 72, option B is the correct answer. Okay. Now the methods I'm using, they might be different than the methods that you are using. I'm saying this again, but have a look at the method that I am using and try to adapt with these methods. Next question, find the remainder when 35 raised to the power 110 is divided by 37. This one is actually easy. Direct application of Euler's theorem. Varad, I will not advise you to skip anything. If you have time, you must practice number systems. Okay, now look at the denominator 37. I can see that 35 and 37, they are relatively prime numbers, so I can apply Euler's theorem. So 35 and 37, they are co-prime with respect to each other. Now Euler's number of 37, 37 is a prime number, so Euler's number of 37 will be 36. So any power of 35 which is a multiple of 36 will give a remainder of 1. So 36 multiply 3 is 108. Okay, so I can say that 35 raised to the power 108 when divided by 37, the remainder will be 1. Now I also have 35 raised to the power 2. So total power was 110. So I'll break it in two parts, 35 raised to the power 108 multiplied by 35 square. Alright. So the first part will give me a remainder of 1. So I'll just look at the second part, 35 square when divided by 37. Now 35 when 30 divided by 37 will give me a remainder of minus 2. Minus 2 square will be equal to 4. So option A, that is 4, is the correct answer. Jawad NK, you have given a correct answer. Nice. So option A, 4 is the correct answer. Okay. Moving on, question number 7. 2 raised to the power 100 when divided by 77. We'll have to find out the remainder. Again, you can break 77 in two parts, 7 and 11, right? So the remainder theorem that we use here is called Chinese remainder theorem. Okay, so first of all, 2 raised to the power 100 will be divided by 7. Now I can apply Euler's theorem here. So Euler's number of 7 is 6. Phi of 7 is 6. So I can safely remove a multiple of 6 from the power. So 2 raised to the power 96 multiplied by 2 raised to the power 4 divided by 7. Now 2 raised to the power 96 when divided by 7 will give me a remainder of 1. So finally it will be 2 raised to the power 4. So 2 raised to the power 4 when divided by 7. So 16 when divided by 7, the remainder will be 2. So 2 is the remainder in the first case. Similarly, 2 raised to the power 100 when divided by 11. Again, I can apply Euler's theorem. So phi of 11 is equal to 10. So any power which is a multiple of 10 will give a remainder of 1. So here 2 raised to the power 100. 100 is already a multiple of 10. So the remainder should be equal to 1 in this case. Simple. So number when divided by 7, the remainder is 2. The same number when divided by 11, the remainder is 1. So I'll repeat the same process. Okay, I'll keep on adding 11 here and 7 here, and we'll check whenever I'll get a common remainder. So 2 plus 7 is 9, then 16, then 23, then 30. Let me check the other value. 1 plus 11 is 12. 12 plus 11 is 23. I am getting a common value 23, which is also there in the options. So the correct answer is 23 for question number 7. Okay. Moving on to the next question, question number 8. Find the last two digits of the given number. Now this one is actually very tricky. But if you know the trick, this can be answered in less than 20 seconds. Okay, find the last two digits of the product of these numbers. Now look at this. The number is ending with 5, 3205, and the power is even 254. So this number will always end with 25. So the last two digits of the first number will be 25. Simple as that. Now 25 when multiplied by any number, the last two digits can be either 25, okay, if this number is of the form of 4k plus 1, okay. The last two digits will be 50 if the second number is of the form 4k plus 2. Last two digits will be 75 if the number is of the form 4k plus 3. It will be 00 if the number is of the form 4k. Okay. So it all depends on the second number now. If it is a multiple of 4, or if it is 4k plus 1, 4k plus 2, or 4k plus 3 form. So I'll pick up the second number, 537 raised to the power 513. I will divide it by 4 and try to find out the remainder. Now 537, when divided by 4, the remainder is 1. 1 raised to the power 513 again will be 1. Alright. So I can now say that the second number is of the form 4k plus 1. So any number which is ending with 25, when multiplied with a number which is of the form of 4k plus 1, the last two digits of the product will always be 25. Okay. So the correct answer here is option A. So whatever I have told you here, you can implement this particular thing at any place where they're asking you to find out the last two digits when a number is multiplied by 25. Okay. So answer here is 25. That is option A. Let's move on. And that was the last question for the day. Okay. So friends, that's all from my side for the day. You can unlock the free trial on the portal of BYJU'S Exam Prep by visiting the application, and you can unlock a 3-day free trial access by entering your mobile number and clicking start free trial. You can enroll in non-CAT 2023 test series that is created by IIM Alumni. Now you have your SNAP examinations, XAT, MHCT, all these examinations are coming ahead. So you can join this test series and you will get a lot of study material in this. Also, today, starting at 7 p.m., we are starting with XAT 2024 crash course. So all of you are preparing for XAT. So you can meet me at 7 o'clock today on 19th of December. And 19th December onwards, up till XAT examination, this crash course will continue, wherein we'll have 15 PowerPad live sessions with highly probable questions. All right, it will boost your scores in all the sections. Also, you can talk to our counselor on BYJU'S Exam Prep app by clicking Talk to our counselor. Also, know your predicted CAT score right after the examination by using CAT 2023 score calculator and percentile predictor. Okay. What is it saying that? Didn't even know how 40 minutes went. So what are like if it's a compliment, thank you. If you like the session, yes, we'll be conducting many more sessions like this. Also know which IIMs you are likely to get a call from along with CAT percentile require by using our CAT college predictor. Don't forget to join us for XAT 2024 first impression and detailed analysis on 7th of January. This is the list of our CAT 2022 toppers. That's all from my side. You can follow us on all these social media platforms. Thank you very much for being a part of this session.